right. 22 hours, no, 23 hours and 55 minutes. And as you know, we on a 24-hour time over here. And as we know, praise to the Father Yah and His Son Yeshua on this TGIFF. Thank God it's Fasting Friday, and that's about to end as well. And as we know, the Sabbath about to start once the sun go down. So Shabbat Shalom. And peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters, all those that you know who always just keeping the Sabbath. And as we know, this is a command as well. And as we do God's work, we have to understand that the things that we have to do with our flesh desires, we have to stop them until, once the sun is sundown. You understand? But as we know, as we respect the Sabbath, we already know those that out here about to be doing a Memorial Day. And, once again, it's sad that, that the world don't shut down for the Sabbath, but they always shut down on the paganism. So this is why we have to deprogram and always understand the things that the Father teaches in the Bible. So this is why we have to do our due diligence and always understand as we seek evolution and our salvation. That's how we receive our blessings on the daily. So as you know, this is why I come every Shabbat. So I always read out of Genesis and Exodus because this is the creation. And as we know, this is the beginning. And I always tell everyone that, this is the best place to be to bring in God's work as well. Because we already know that Yah is the Father. And we know that He created everything on this earth. And as we know, as it teaches in Genesis 1, as we see, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So we have to understand, as you know, as three tellers, that God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So this is how we do our due diligence when it comes down to the first day. You understand? 24 hours. And this is why we say that we on like from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., however you want to look at it. 24 hours, 8 to 8. You understand? From sundown to sundown. And this is what it teaches as well. And it teaches as in 14, it said, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for light in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So as we know, on the fourth day, the Father had created the sun, and as we know, as the moon and the stars as well too. So this is how, as it teaches that it says in 14, let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So this is what we do, because we know that we don't praise the stars and the moons and the suns, because it teaches that in Deuteronomy, I think like 4:19. You understand? So this is why we have to understand that, when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, they give us directions and let us know when the end of the month, and all them good things. The same with the weather. So, as we know that this is about to be the Hebrew day 26. You understand? And as we know that this is the second month of Liar as well too. So this is why we have to deprogram ourselves from the paganism, from the Roman Greco calendar. You understand? And peace and blessings to those who just came up in here. As we seeing the sunset. And once the sun set, we know that's when the Sabbath began. And once that the Sabbath began, that's when we know no flesh desires. And that's no flesh desires. That's when you rest into God's words, and you be in tune with your family structure and your faith structure, breaking that generational curse. I know it's kind of windy out here, so you gotta bear with me. But at the same time, this what I do. Always come down here and just do God's work right here at the water. So it's windy, but at the same time, Genesis 2 teaches that, and on the seventh day, God ended his work in which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day. And from all his work which he had made, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. And then it says, for these are the generations of the heavens and of the earth where they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. So this is why we have to understand how we do our due diligence. That the Father created all this, everything that what you see, even the even flesh that you saw run past. He created the water, the skies, even us, everything on this earth. So this is why I said that it's sad that the world can shut down on Memorial Day, but never shut down on the Sabbath. And I always say that if those that were shut down on the Sabbath, it wouldn't be a lot of willing it wouldn't be a lot of it wouldn't be a lot of sinning or killing if those that would rest on the Sabbath. If you understand what I'm saying, if everybody rests from sundown to sundown, people won't be going out at night, doing what they do at night. People won't be getting hurt or none of them things. But as we know, the world is up in abomination. So we know that the world is not going to be in tune with that. You understand? But this is why, we have salvation for those that, who seek their evolution and their salvation. And we know this is only for those that, who really understand God's words. Because we all have to understand that, if you're not obeying his words and not disciplining yourself and being obedience, you're always going to be in your abomination. You understand? So, man, it's windy. Let me go to Exodus, and then I'm going to close out with Exodus. Sheesh. Yeah, it's windy out here. And it just got finished raining a little something. But at the same time, it don't stop nothing. You still have to do what you got to do. But let's go to Exodus 20. And as we go to Exodus 20, let's read the Ten Commandments as well. And as we know, as the Ten Commandments start off with Exodus 21, and God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generations of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. 7 teaches that thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. 8 tell us remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 9 tell us to teach us 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. So this is what we should be doing from Sunday to Friday. And then after Friday, this is when we deprogram ourselves. You understand? And 10 teaches that but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and that thou shalt not do any work. Thou shalt not thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maid servant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is written in that gate. For in the 6 days the Lord made heaven, earth, the sea, and all in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath and day and hallowed it. And 12 teaches to honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God give thee. And the same for all those as well too. You understand? But we have to respect our parents, as the same way as we know, as we keep the commandments as well too. and doing the Father's work as we seek our salvation. Excuse me. And it said, thou shalt not kill, thou not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So that's the Ten Commandments. And as it teaches that we have to keep God's commandments as well, and especially when it comes down to the Sabbath and everything else. And then we have dietary laws as well too. But like I said, for those that who just stick in the New Testament, they know this always just call on Jesus Christ. But as we know in Hebrew that we say Yeshua, and you see us say a different name as well too. But at the same time, for those that who's in a paganism, we already know what you was who you serving. And if you're not serving what the Bible teaches, you already know what you're on. And you have to understand that, for those that in a religion beliefs, we already know what's going on with that as well too. So this is why those have to understand that you have to build inside your house, get your house under control with the paganism. Same with breaking that generational curse as well too, and always strengthen your faith structure. And as we keep seeking our salvation, man, the Father will keep blessing us and loving us, and just keep on giving us every breath of life. You understand? So once again, we woke up, received breath of life, and as we know, as the sun down, that's 24 hours. We was blessed again with breath of life. So we have to understand that some didn't wait, and some had passed. You understand? So if you know that you're still breathing, there's no reason for you not to be praising and rejoicing. You understand? So I'm gonna shut this down. Peace and blessings to all those who came up in here. But always understand that we have to deprogram ourselves out of our flesh desires. And once the sun go down, that's when we in tune with the Sabbath. And the other time, the moon be behind me, but I don't even see it up there. So once again, always be in tune with the Sabbath. Once the sun go down, I don't know where you stay at, but here it's we 8 minutes in. So it's 8:08 here. You understand? So once again, Shabbat Shalom. And if y'all here tonight, King Motivated Rock Binyah, love you. God love us, but we already know Proverbs 8:17. Tell us that God love those that who love him and seek him early. And the same with Proverbs 1:26-29. For those that who half-hearted, contradict, all them things that what you're doing with the paganism, trust and believe the Father already know. You understand? So read them and understand that them his words. So y'all have a good night. Understand no flesh desires. Join us tonight as well with the Bible study. Peace and blessings and shalom. And once again, from sundown to sundown, no flesh desires. Respect the Sabbath.